Hey everybody, it is Andrew back here, and today we're going to take a little detour. We're going to go just in a totally different direction today, take a little bit of a break from the tips. So go back, take a look. I've done, my last two videos have been 8 tips each day just on getting more bookings. Hopefully they're helping. They're helping me anyways. Today we're going to do something just totally different. I'm going to talk to just something that has been top of mind recently and just a trend I'm seeing out there right now. And it's been a trend that has been going on, I know, for quite some time. And that is the trend of the online teaching revolution. And this is a revolution, folks. It is. It is at its infancy. And for me, I'm only about 4 months in here. So those folks like you guys that have been teaching for a lot longer, you're in even earlier at the ground floor. This is going to be something astronomical. When we look back and even 5 to 10 years from now, we're going to say, wow, I can't believe I was in so early in on that. And the benefits I think we'll see. So stick around. Let's look at 5 reasons on why I think this is a revolution. This isn't a fad. No way, no how is this a fad. So let's talk to 5 reasons on why I think this is here to stay, and I'm going to go into all of these here today. So demands on teachers, pay, bullying, brick and mortar, and private on the rise. So I want to talk to all of those. First, I want to get into the demands on teachers. The demands on teachers right now, and I'm not a teacher, I don't have a teaching degree, I don't know firsthand, but I know lots of teachers, and I know the demands on them keep getting more and more and more and more and more and more. And we see videos all over the place of teachers quitting, saying, I've had enough, I'm done. The system is so broken. That's from my perspective, looking in at the public school system, whether that's in Canada, whether that's in the US, she is a broken. And when a system is broken, capitalism will come in and it will try and fix this. So, if you know me, I'm going to go a little political here, but oh well. I love capitalism. I know there are drawbacks to it, but there is not a better system out there. And this is coming from someone that lives in the good old country of Canada. We have such a liberal or democratic government right now. Good old Trudeau just drives me bananas, this guy. He got in for another term somehow with all the corruption. He got in for another term. And what drove me a little bananas, I'm in Texas. I'm talking to the cab driver, and she's talking up how he's such a politically correct guy, and he's, always says the right things, and I'm just holding my tongue, just saying, okay. Anyways, and I know Trump's not perfect. I know. Anyways, we won't go down that rabbit hole. Just had to vent a little bit about good old Prime Minister Trudeau. So, anyways, squirrel. The demands on teachers right now are astronomical. Lots are quitting. So there's going to be capitalism that's going to come in and it's going to try and fix it. And capitalism is going to come in the shape of, we are already seeing private schools, and I'll talk to that a little bit later, but online teaching. We're seeing firsthand right now. We are a part of it. And we are seeing how that is starting to take over a little bit. It is so at its infancy, so it's going to skyrocket here in the next decade. Number 2, let's get into the pay. The pay for teachers is pretty much the old system of how long have you been working here? That system is broken, 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 broken. Very little, and I know there's exceptions to this. I'm speaking broad strokes here, so I know there are exceptions to this. I'm speaking about Canada, what I'm seeing and what I know of the US. I'm probably a little bit ignorant in terms of the US, but I think it probably holds true. Pay is determined by how long you're there for the most part. And that system just does not work anymore in our culture. It doesn't, because when the people that are busting their rear ends off, when the pressures are so high on teachers, that system doesn't work. If you get compensated for being a great teacher, going the extra mile, doing all that extra work, putting in 60-hour weeks or whatever, for a lot of teachers I'm sure they're putting in, then you don't mind. Yes, you do mind doing it, but if you're getting compensated, you're willing to keep going if you're getting compensated. But when that link is then lost, that's when the system starts to cave in. And we're seeing that right now, or we've been seeing that trend for quite some time. From my perspective, looking in from not a teacher, of course, so I am ignorant a little bit, but that's how I see things. Number 3, bullying. So bullying, we know, I'm 35 years old. You know, the millennials, of course, we've seen bullying, but it is nothing compared to what these kids are going through right now with all the social media and all that stuff. It's done some good, but man, has it caused a lot of harm at the same time. And I just feel that with the bullying, where it's at right now, a possible solution, at least in some cases, now I know parents have to be able to afford it, but when you can get your child out of school and maybe a better education, and sorry for those teachers out there, I'm probably offending people that are working for the public system. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not. I'm not saying you're doing a bad job. Please don't take me as saying that. I'm saying you're doing a good job, but you're being set out to fail. That is what I'm saying. So with bullying, get back to that. I just feel that with bullying, you can bring the student into their own home. You can have it so they're not isolated. There's lots of different ways that you can do it so that they aren't isolated. It's not like they have to be homeschooled or anything like that. The online community can come in and have it so there's still that interaction that's there. You can still be satisfied in that regard. And I just feel that that is a way to curb the bullying a little bit. So it can help with that. Brick and mortar. Okay, the number 4. We are seeing brick and mortar dying a slow death everywhere. I mean, I could do a video on all this. Shopping malls, cinemas, yada, yada, yada. We can keep on going for a long time. Everything is on the decline. Everything. Brick and mortar. For the most part, I know there are exceptions, but for the most part, brick and mortar is dying because it costs a fortune with insurance, with maintaining the buildings, with employees, we can keep going on and on and on. Anyways, we're seeing how it is dying a slow death, and schools, you will not escape this. You are also going to see enrollments coming down, and we're seeing that as a trend right now. Even if populations are increasing, the populations for schools are going to be coming down, especially the public ones. And I'll talk to in my next one about private schools. Number 5. Private schools are on the rise, a lot of them. Anyways, I know there are cases where this is not true, but for the most part, private schooling, whether that be Christian schooling, whether that be charter schools, I don't know if that's what you call it in the States, Montessori's, whatever, they are on the rise. That is showing you that parents are willing to pay for education. It is so important in our culture, not just in China. Education is very important, and I know that parents can't all afford it, but those that can and can see the benefits of it, they're going to pay for it. And with private schools, we're seeing that first and foremost. So if you can make things private and do it online, you can maybe do it cheaper possibly. There's lots of different ways. There's no way that online will not take off because I think they can do it at a cheaper way than the private schools can with their brick and mortar old system with the buses and yada, yada, yada expenses. I just see that taking off so much as well for the online teaching side, similar to private, but not the same overhead that is there. So those are the 5 things I'm seeing. What I said at the start of the video is we are privileged to be where we're at now as online teachers. I think for a lot of us, myself included, it's probably important if things happen the way I see them happening, a teaching degree is going to be a must because governments are not going to allow things to move that fast. And I mean, we're seeing China and them clamping down on different things, teaching certain times a day and all that type of stuff. Governments are not going to just say, yeah, go to it. Yeah, teach whatever you want to do. They're going to put in rules, of course. They're going to say you got to have a teaching degree, all that type of stuff. But for those of you that have teaching degrees and you're doing this, you are on the ground floor and you're going to benefit immensely because the pay is going to be rewarded for your good job. When you do a good job, you're going to be rewarded for it. Capitalism is moving in here fast. and it is going to take the path of least resistance. I know there are flaws to capitalism, but trust me, when you live in Canada and you see this social government and trying to control things, it doesn't work. It doesn't. I'm sorry. It does not work. So, anyways, that's it for today. Share what works, what you're seeing in terms of this revolution as well, or maybe you don't think this is going to happen. I don't know. Share your comments. I'd love to hear what you think also, different trends that you're seeing. Hopefully that works for you, or at least that made sense for what I've rambled on about today. So come back and see my tips there in the next few